Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today's video is sponsored by HelloFresh, the food delivery service that brings fresh, pre-portioned ingredients right to your doorstep so you can prepare a meal in about 30 minutes. HelloFresh has a ton of variety. You can choose meal plans that are vegetarian, pescatarian, smart carb, low cal. There are so many options to choose from, and it's a great way to break out of recipe ruts and cut out so much of the stress that comes with meal planning. With the quick and easy options, you can put together a meal in even 20 minutes. And pre-portioned ingredients means there's less prep and less food waste. HelloFresh is super flexible. You can easily change your meal plans, your delivery dates, or even skip a week. This week, my family's favorite meal was the roasted veggie farro bowls. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, go to HelloFresh.com and use my code emmymade14 to receive 14 free meals, including free shipping. Big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video and for their continued support. Today, I'm going to be tasting a couple of instant noodles thanks to Paul over at Critical Eats Japan. I'll put a link down below to his channel. Paul, thanks so much for sending these my way. And I am very curious about them, particularly this one. This is yakisoba, which is like a stir-fried noodle. It's dry, and this is an unusual one because it is apple pie flavor. This yakisoba is made by Pyongu, and they have made sweet versions of yakisoba before. I've tasted this strawberry shortcake, and there's a chocolate one before. That was several years ago, about 4 years ago. I'll put a link down below to those videos if you missed them. The one thing I really love about this brand of yakisoba is they have a really brilliant way of preparing them in terms of the design of the packaging. So I know at least that will be a pleasure to use. This one, on the other hand, I have high hopes for. This is Ichiran ramen, and it comes in a cup. Ichiran Ramen is a chain ramen shop that you can find all over Japan. They have delicious ramen, and I think what makes it probably most famous is that there are individual booths that you can sit in to enjoy your ramen experience. I have a video of that. I'll put a link down below, and it is very, very delicious. There are so many ramen shops that you can go to in Japan. You could probably go to a different one every week and still not finish them all because there's so many. I think in the US there's this conception that ramen is instant and that it comes in a brick form, and it does in Japan, but it also comes fresh, and there are so many different permutations, tastes. There are so many ramen shops that you can go to that specialize in different kinds of ramens all over Japan. So it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But this I'm super excited about. And according to Satoshi over at Tabi Eats, this was 20 years in the making, developing this cup ramen so it would have the experience and the level of quality that Ichiran ramen is known for. Here's the yakisoba, apple pie. All right. Full instructions on how to prepare this. I love it. Look how illustrative it is. Isn't that great? And very, very clear instructions. So what we do here is take tab A and we fold it all the way to here to tab B. Pull it back. There are the noodles inside. Oops. And there are two packets. One is the sauce and one are the dried apples. What we're gonna do is take our apple slices, they smell like dried apples, place them in there. And now we're going to add our boiling water. Now we use this little tab, which happens to be nice and long, and fold it over and let that sit for 3 minutes. So I'm gonna put my sauce pack on top to kind of warm it up. So while that's happening, let's prepare the Ichiran. Satoshi said in his video that we should eat this just plain. Notice how there's no green onions, no chashu, no egg, nothing. He said that this has been specifically designed to be eaten just like this. So I'm gonna go against my usual protocol of at least adding green onions to my instant noodles because I wanna taste this how it was designed. Lift this up. The noodles at the bottom. Look how thin they are. Definitely Ichiran style noodles. 3 packets, very clearly labeled A, B, and see. I just looked at the directions and we don't add any of the seasoning to the noodles. Doop, 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 all the way to that line. And then it specifically tells you to put the sauce packet B on top to kind of warm it up and also to weight the lid down. Brilliant, right? Okay, we're gonna wait on that. I'll set my timer for 4 minutes. So the yakisoba should be ready. So that is labeled with a C, and we're going to peel that back. Look at that. See, it has a built-in strainer. Can you, oh my gosh, it's so brilliant. What a pleasure. You don't need a colander, you don't need a lid, you don't have to worry about your noodles going down the drain. And there are our noodles and our rehydrated apples. And now we're going to add the sauce, which is conveniently nice and toasty. Oh, it smells buttery and appley. Interesting. Mix all of that sauce in there. Apple yakisoba complete with actual pieces of apple. Itadakimasu! It's definitely not your regular ramen noodles. Is it terrible? No. But what I do find surprising is that when I think of apple pie, I think of cinnamon and apple. There's no cinnamon in this. This doesn't taste cinnamony. It tastes pretty subtly of apple pie, actually. And interestingly enough, it tastes more of butter or margarine kind of flavor than actual apple pie, in my opinion. I do taste the apple. Let me just have a dry apple piece. Which are sweet, having like a nice kind of crunch to them and taste truly of apple. The noodles themselves are not what I associate with an apple pie. More of maybe an apple turnover. Yeah, like a turnover or pastry. This isn't terrible, but it's not something that I would necessarily want to eat again or would crave. But I'm glad I tried it. Of the sweet yakisobas, this one is the least offensive. We'll put it at that. Alrighty, now let's try the real star, the Ichiran ramen. And we're going to peel this back. There are the noodles. And give them a little stir. Ichiran ramen is known for these kind of thin noodles. And these look very similar to what I remember. So this is not the first time I've had Ichiran at home. I'll put a link down below to another video I made where I purchased an Ichiran ramen kit, and the noodles were different. They didn't come in a bowl like this, and I made homemade chashu. Definitely check out that video. But this is my first time of Ichiran in a cup. Okay, so now we're going to add package A, and this is the soup base. Stir that in. Ooh, that immediately makes the broth kind of milky. This is a tonkotsu style ramen after all. Now we're going to add this warm liquid seasoning. Ha 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 ha, yum yum yum. Oh yeah, now you can really smell it. It smells meaty and garlicky. It smells great. So I'm going to stir the noodles and kind of turn them over like this. Put a pile on top. This is how they do it at the shop, like that. Is known for their chili mix that they put on the very top of the ramen. And this is a little bit different. Oh, look at that. This is more of like a liquid kind of gel. When I had it in person and also in that kit that I mentioned earlier, it's a powder that's placed right on top. This smells delicious. Garlicky, chilied. Okay. I'm looking forward to this. Okay, I'm gonna stir the chili in. Alrighty. Itadakimasu. That's good. The broth is particularly good. It's slightly sweet, savory, rich. It has a great mouthfeel. The noodles, I have to say, I think I cooked them a little bit too long. Next time I would do 3 minutes or even less. Even still, they have a very pleasant texture. This is a thin style of noodle, but they don't have that kind of slightly fried flavor that I associate with instant noodles. I think that comes with the process of making the instant noodles. There's a frying technique. I don't taste that kind of oily flavor at all. I just taste beautiful, lovely broth with just a hint of spice. It's a very good cup noodle. I think they did a really good job of elevating these noodles from your typical cup noodles. They don't taste like the typical cup noodles. They also don't cost like the typical cup noodles. I believe this is about 500 yen or about $5 as opposed to a typical cup noodle, which is more like 100 or 200 yen. So definitely more expensive, but I think totally worth it. And I'm so glad that I tasted it without any additions. I feel like you can get a better idea of what was intended and it's not doctored up in any kind of way. Now that it's been a few minutes since I had a taste of this, I really taste a kind of savory flavor in my mouth. Savory and rich, meaty flavor. Alrighty, my lovelies, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that little taste test. Big thanks again to Paul for sending these to me, and big thanks to HelloFresh for sponsoring this video. If you'd like to try HelloFresh for yourself, head to HelloFresh.com and use my code emmymade14 to receive 14 free meals, including free shipping. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media, like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Now back to the task at hand, which is to consume this and fill my belly.